Welcome to the FileMaker User Group meeting for August 2016. This is FM Pug without borders. Hello everyone, thanks for attending. My name is Richard Carlton. I'm the CEO and Senior Engineer at RC Consulting, as well as a lead video trainer at learningfilemaker.com. A number of you have asked for an ongoing user group meeting. Well, we have the opportunity this month to broadcast from FileMaker's corporate headquarters at the Dig FM meeting in Santa Clara, California. Now, this meeting is being attended by a number of people here. In fact, they're all chomping away on pizza. However, the broadcast of this is being sponsored and managed by learningfilemaker.com. So this user group meeting does have some corporate sponsorship because, frankly, broadcasting to hundreds of people simultaneously is not a free service. It just isn't. So we do have some corporate sponsorship that allows us to bankroll this and to bring this to you. Now, throughout tonight's presentation, you'll have the opportunity to type in and ask questions. So let's briefly talk about how to do that. You're going to click on your control panel and enter a question and click send. And towards the end of the presentation, we're going to try to answer as many of these as we can. Now, your speaker tonight will not be seeing these questions, but I will see them and I will attempt to either chat you back with the answer or bring it up verbally with the speaker live in front of everyone. Now, in a moment, we're going to cut over to Nick Hunter, who is our speaker tonight, and I want to take a quick moment to provide you an introduction to Nick. So tonight's presentation is on user interface design in the FileMaker platform, and it's going to be a great presentation. Now, this presentation is a subset of the material that Nick and I have put together in our FileMaker user interface video course. This user interface video course is available at learningfilemaker.com. So it's a course that you can download as part of our ongoing annual training bundle that we have. Now, in addition to user interface training, we also have training on FileMaker Pro, as well as FileMaker Go, and a number of business-specific videos which are wrapped up into a course called FileMaker for Startups and Entrepreneurs. And so that's not so much a technical course as it is a planning and decision-making and leadership course as you go through the process of deploying FileMaker into your organization. Now, Nick Hunter has recently completed development of FM Gallery and FM Camera. Now, FM Gallery and FM Camera are designed to work together to provide a highly polished application that runs in the FileMaker platform that allows you to manage large volumes of images or photos. Now, FM Camera is the app that runs on the iPhone or iPad, and that allows you to capture the images with these mobile devices, and then by pressing a button, syncing that information up to FM Gallery, which runs on a FileMaker server. So without any further ado, let me introduce Nick Hunter here and switch over the microphone to him.
I want to start talking about the FileMaker revolution, because that's something that popped up to my mind during the last DEF CON this year. And something popped up is that 30 years ago, the Nashoba FileMaker Plus and Claris FileMaker, right, was form editors, right? It was a form editor that was written in the box, right? Then it became database software. That was a FileMaker 4, FileMaker 5, you know, until FileMaker Pro 12, we were speaking about databases. Right? Then it became a solution maker until FileMaker Pro 14, we were talking about solution, FileMaker solution, blah, 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 right? And then with FileMaker 15, it stepped up to an application builder with FileMaker 15, right? So we have the evolution of FileMaker here, right? So 30 years ago, from form editors to database software to solution maker and to application builder. So this is the revolution of FileMaker. So what that implies? That implies that we cannot stand and just do the same thing we were doing in the past. We have to evolve as the platform is evolving as well, right? So what makes the difference between a solution and an application, for example, or between a database and an application? So let me show you a demo Your product that Richard and I were selling is the FileMaker Gallery and FileMaker Camera, right? So let me do the demo here. When you build an application, you need to bring to the user a certain level of ease of use and a certain level of interaction. You cannot just think that they will do the FileMaker walk. They don't want to do the FileMaker walk. You have to do the FileMaker walk and present something very sleek, very understandable to your customer. And if you build an application, you need to bring interaction that users are used to. You know, today our customers are trained and educated in computer, so you need to bring what they're used to. So here, demonstration of a gallery of photos. So we bring pretty much the iPhoto for FileMaker. This is FileMaker Solution. Right? There's no Java, there's no plugins. This is 100% FileMaker. So what we think about is when you see something like that, the first thing you think is, if I'm stretching this, what is going to happen? That's what is happening. That means that's what people expect. If you stretch a window, it's expand. And if you do the opposite way, you go back and you do this. This is what you expect when you use something like that. After that, there's other thing you expect when you use a photo management is the possibility of selecting a picture, then press the Shift key and select another one, and you get a selection. This is what you expect when you use a photo management. Then you can do plenty of things with my selection. I can double click and I can edit my selection. You can see here I have the 14 pictures selected here. I have a photo, and you can do another selection here, right? And just double click and you have another selection. This is the level of interaction, user interaction, that you need to bring to a FileMaker file to become an application, right? So there's plenty of things we can do. For example, you know, what you expect, if I'm pressing, I have a selection of photo here, and I'm pressing the Command key, and I can just unselect things or add others into my selection. Of course, if I'm pressing the Delete key in my keyboard, what I expect is to delete the pictures, to delete my selection, right? What I expect too is to be able to import a folder. So I can import here. I have some cats here that are Richard's files here. So I'm selecting this, and I wanted to import the folder named cats. So the solution, the application is telling me, oh, okay, you want to import cats, so I'm naming you event cats. Okay, yeah, no problem, thank you. Continue. So I'm importing the picture, and boom, they're here. So this is the interaction you need to bring to call your FileMaker solution an application, right? So now I have this. I can just show all. See, I can show all. Here I have my events. I say, okay, well, I want to see cats, or I can just do show all, and I can say, show me the cats, right, on the search field. So you can search, you can sort. Of course, we are in FileMaker, so that means we can edit, right? And we have all the benefit of database software. You know, you can create your own field and stuff like that, or you can add your own functionality on top of this, right? So it's not done, because with FileMaker we can talk, we can do many things. We can expand FileMaker experience to many things. For example, here, let me close this one, showing all, and you can see here I have one picture that is not rotated right. So what can I do? I can just edit this, and I can just press this button here, and within FileMaker, this one, okay, and I want to save them, right? I want to save them, and so I press, you guessed it, Command S, and I can save. You know? And here I have my own, customized dialog for saving, right? And I said, okay, I want to save those in PNGs, right? So let's say I want them very small, okay? So because those are high-res G, and customer is FM, okay? So I press continue. Here it's asking me, okay, where you want to do that? Okay, so here, test demo, right? And I'm selecting this. So now FileMaker is exporting all the picture outside FileMaker and changing the format and the size. See, PNGs, and they are very smaller. They are 5 to 6 megabytes normally, and here we have small file in kilobytes. So this is out of FileMaker. No plugins and no Java. No tricks. This is real. So we have other things that are interesting with FileMaker. So we know now that we can bring FileMaker to the application level. There's no problem. This is what you can get with FileMaker. It's not that difficult to build, actually. It's just a common sense and the good usage of all the FileMaker parts, all the FileMaker components. But now FileMaker have a big advantage is FileMaker is a platform. So what the platform can do for me for application, how I can use this platform thingy for the usage of my customer. So here I have an app here on my iPhone here, right? So this is the companion of FM Gallery. So what we did, we built FM Gallery with this nice gallery view and stuff like that, and we just duplicate the file and we create a version for iPhone. And actually, it wasn't difficult to do, right? So here's the application. So of course, you recognize a little bit of Apple here. So picture you took today, this week, last month, and stuff. So you can just tap all photo, okay? And here you have the same gallery view on your phone, right? So you can tap, you open a picture here, right? You can press next, or you can just, with 2 fingers, right? You can just slide. You can double tap, and you can have a preview, tap again. And of course, we are in FileMaker, right? So we can just add our own fields into the application. We're not just on photo. We can add fields and add whatever you want, right? And you can navigate here. You see, I'll show you a little preview on the top. It's here. So press down, press back, right? And of course, we have all the benefits of an application. Like, okay, if I press select, and I said, okay, I want this, this, and this, and this, and I can delete, I can move, right? I can export, I can do plenty of stuff. And you can add your own feature that you really want badly and nobody is thinking about you. It's like, would it be great if we can just double tap and select all? It's not working, right? Double tap, select all. On how many times do you wish to have something like that? Okay, so now we can, of course, we can take pictures. So I'm taking a picture here, press the button here. And of course, FileMaker has a geolocalization, so I know where I am. I'm in Santa Clara, right? So, and let's say this is Dig FM, okay? And I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses. So here, I don't know what I tapped, but it's okay. So here I have a picture. I can take a picture here. So one picture here. And I said, okay, I want another one. Richard, here. I take another one. And because we are an application, right, I can just turn and take a picture here. Hello. Here we go. Live from Santa Clara. Okay. So now I have my pictures here with my app. So they are here, presented well in the gallery like an app, right? And I said, okay, you know what? I'm FileMaker. I'm my server somewhere in the world, I don't know where, right? And I want to transfer those pictures from my phone because today, for now they are in my device. They are stored here, right? And I want to transfer those 4 pictures to our server here in Santa Clara over there, right? So you can add your own server here, either, just the regular information you have to fill up, right? And so, but here I have already a server added, so you can add multiple servers, so you can spread out to multiple servers. So I tap it, okay, I want this one, I confirm that I want to send to this one, and FileMaker app is talking to a FileMaker server and push the pictures over there, and then I say keep, and you can see now I have a nice green check mark that means those are being transferred. So here we have a great example of an application, right, made with FileMaker, because this is an app, I'm sorry. This is not. You have all the interaction you expect, all of them. Gallery, multiple selection, you can push in the cloud. Imagine when we will have FM Cloud. You have the server on FM Cloud and you press a button. You are everywhere in the world, press a button, poof, right? So this is cool. This is a great thing. So this is where FileMaker is today. That's why I brought up this panel and say, okay, FileMaker from a form editor to an application builder. We're there. We are perfect. And this is, I swear to God, is 100% FileMaker. There's absolutely no tricks, right? So let's back to our presentation here. So of course, you need some knowledge of FileMaker. That's okay. We all have strong knowledge of FileMaker here. There's not a problem. But what makes the difference between a solution or a database and an app? It's the UI, the UX that we just see, that interaction, thumbnails, multiple sections, etc., and the design. This makes all the difference because our customers want what they expect. Okay, so today we are going to talk about and understand the basic UI and UX concepts, right? Basic, just as a starting point, and then we can do what you want. And we need to embrace and apply to ourselves some simple design principle. We cannot do the economy of this. We have to. If you want to create what you just see, right? You need to bring those design concepts to you, right? You need to ensure layout consistency. Make sure everything is all right. You make sure everything is aligned and everything is not off one pixel because people will see. And of course, and that is this is my first amendment though. The reinforced simplicity. You cannot solve a complex problem with complexity. It's not possible. This, what you saw in the FM gallery, is extremely simple. Extremely simple. That's why it's working. Because if it was complicated, it would be slow and sluggish and no. Simplicity. Bring simplicity in your design and your development. Then we will learn how to modernize ancient database solution with no hassles, right? Very simple. You bring your solution, you apply some common sense design principle, and you will see, boom. And of course, we just demonstrate that we can build multi-platform apps with FileMaker without effort. So what is important to know now is, this is very important, So and I'm telling you why it is important, why that is the key for success, right? To bring your app. So your app is sharing the bill with other apps. That means, when people are using Facebook, Twitter, especially on the phone. On the phone is even bigger. The phone is a giant magnifier of what I'm saying now, right? So you share the bill with other apps. I mean, people are going to, they have Office, they have Photoshop, they have other apps. They don't have only your app. I remember the time 20 years ago. Who is a long-time developer here? Okay, more than 20 years? Okay. So remember that time, that holy time, where we had a computer like a LC or Mac 2, and they had two applications, two floppy, right? And they had FileMaker and maybe Excel, right, on the side. No internet, no email, nothing like that, right? So this was a holy time because people could learn new stuff. They could learn new stuff. They had time to learn new stuff. You were going over there and train the people. There was no problem. But today, who is reading a manual of instruction? Do we have a manual of instruction anymore? No, because nobody wants to read that, right? So, because nowadays our customers are educated and they know computers, sometimes better than yourself, right? They know computers, they don't want to learn, and they want to get what they expect. What I have on Facebook, and Facebook is like on Facebook, Twitter, and Excel is like that. Why is not like that in FileMaker? You have to take care of that. You have to think about things like that. Because, like I said, your user expect design that they see us elsewhere. You cannot say, this is FileMaker. This is a FileMaker way. How many times I've heard that? Oh, this is a FileMaker way. Oh, this is how FileMaker is doing, right? And so, of course, so now we saw that and we talk about that. Your FileMaker app must follow the industry, the standard of the industry. You cannot stay outside. You cannot say, I have my stuff. You can have your style. You can have your fashion. There's no problem. You can have your fashion and stuff like that, but you cannot put two cancel buttons on the same screen. You cannot do that. This is violation. You cannot do that, right? And I saw that many times.
You said that's a violation?
Violation.
Violation.
Sorry.
I'm trying to get him to slow down a little bit.
Oh, slow down? Okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay. So I want to show you something before, something I created for you. Problem is, okay. How many times did we see that? This is a portal. This is a FileMaker way. This is what I heard. This is a FileMaker way, right? So I have a portal with a bunch of things. I don't know where the row is starting, where it's ending. I don't know what they are. You know, I have a label on top, but you have a field here, so it's not consistent because you don't have columns and stuff because you break the thing. How many times we saw something like that? This is FileMaker way. This is no. This is no. Sorry, it's easy, you know, out of the box, boom, boom, boom. It took me maybe 2 minutes to build something like that, but this is not an app. This is a form editor. Let's see how it works in an app. This is what I expect in an app, you know. So I have the portal, I still have portal, right? But I see what's going on, right? And I can select, I know where I am, I know what I'm looking at, right? And this is not that complicated to build, actually. It's not, you know, just, you know, a set field and two relationship and voila, right? Same thing, if I want to create something, oh yeah, we have the FileMaker way to create something. You go on the last, right, and you create something like that, right? So this is a FileMaker way to create things. No, because this is nowhere in the world, just FileMaker. It's fine. It was fine at the holy time with the floppy. But today we have to bring something else, right? We need to go here. And it's not difficult to build. So this is what I'm talking about, the difference between solution and database and app. You need to think about this. So here, if I want to create something, I'm ready, is select the field, and I can type my thing, and I have a giant text field here, and I'm comfortable to work, right? So this is a little demo I wanted to show you. So now let's embrace some very basic, design principle. Imagine that everything you put in a layout must tell a story. You must tell a story. You must explain, tell something to somebody. You need to explain with clear words. So let's say I have this. Kind of complicated to read, right? I can figure out with time. I can figure out. I have a Nick down, and I have Olas over there. So maybe I am Nicholas. Maybe Okay. So it's hard to figure out what's going on. What's happened if I'm just tell a story? My name is Nicholas. I'm talking today about design. A, B, C, D, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and N. So now I'm telling the story. It's clear. My name is Nicholas, and I'm talking about design. It's very easy, right? So why we don't do that in FileMaker? Why sometimes we see, okay, I have a button here and a button delete on the bottom, and another delete button on the top. Oh, this button delete is for the portal. Oh, okay, thank you to tell me that. So you need to tell a story with what you put in the layouts, right? So here, if I'm organizing a little bit my stuff better, so new, right? Now it's clean. I'm telling a story. Customer, project, product, I understand. This is a navigation, right? New, delete, print, those are functions. And I have import, export on the side. This is different, okay? So you tell a story, and then you understand what's going on. So when you build something, you need to think about stuff like that. Then another principle that I'd like to bring up is the functions and the expression. Who knows what I'm talking about? Nobody? Okay. This is a very simple design principle, Function versus expression. What a function, what an expression. Let's start with expression. What is this? A blue dot? Okay. What is this? Yeah, but what it is, what it means. Nobody, no. Hot and cold, you have in the bathroom all the time. You know? Hot and cold. This is what it means. When you see that, it's what it means. So next one, what is this? Orange dots. So now what it is, you understand? So expressions can have function as well, right? So expression is the colors. You know, I want to, I like to blue on top, and I want this, you know, this is expression. This is expression. Function is something that tells you, that's something that giving information to you. This is a function. I give you an information, so this is a function. So let's combine all of this. Let's say I have this. What this is? This is an expression. It's not doing, it's not telling me anything, it's just an expression. What's this? Another expression to emphasize the separation, right? This still is expression, still an expression. If I remove all of that, my solution or application is still working fine. It's just an expression, right? And matter of taste, actually. And here I have my functions. So expressions, functions, right? But sometimes I can mix both. So how? If I'm doing this, now I understand. Green, new, red, oh, red, wait a minute. Red is bad. Red is dangerous, red is woo. So you add expression to your functions, right? And this is important because this is a little bit Christmas tree. So you have to be careful of what you do. You know, when you put something red, it means something. If you put something red, it means something. Don't put red everywhere unless, I will show you in a moment, unless it's part of your expression. But you must be careful on this. So now, another thing that is important, that actually is very, it's a pity Richard is not there. You will have fun with this. The visibility and verticality. So we are living in a vertical world. You know, we are, and I will show you. It's a linear world. We are in a linear world, a vertical world, right? And we are in a world more than ever of visibility. We have screen everywhere. We are looking at screen all the time. We have phones. You go Macy's, you have screens. You go, you know, in a waiting room in the doctor, you have screens. So we are in a visibility world. That means you cannot play with the visibility like you were playing in the past at the holy time of the floppy. You have to bring something else now because people are used to see things, right? So what this is? It's okay, you know the zip code, right? What this is numbers, right? But if okay, imagine that you don't know the 95054. You don't know, right? It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing alone. But if I'm doing this, you don't need labels. You don't need explanation. You understand what it is. You understand why? Because you are seeing that all the time. Because we used to. Because you learned that when you were a kid. So that is to demonstrate the way you organize your information in the layout, must tell the story, must explain things. Unless you have to come up with hundreds of labels everywhere, and after that your layout is like a mess, right? But if you organize well, if you organize clearly the thing, like people are expecting, like an address, for example. If you present something like that, you don't need the label address. It's obvious. If you see a number with parentheses, 48 in the parentheses, and then 3 numbers and 4 numbers, okay, it's a 4 number. If you see a at in the middle of text with a .com at the end, what it is? An email. It's okay. Visually, I see it's an email. Don't tell me it's an email. I know it's an email. So the way you present things, that's why the visibility is very important. Visibility is very important. So now let's talk about verticality and stuff. What? See, I knew about that. So let's talk about verticality. Imagine that, you know, when we want to bring complex information, when we have a lot of things to display on the screen, what we do, right? We use columns and rows. Columns and rows. This is Excel. So think Excel. Excel is vertical, right? you cannot, if you have an Excel, you have a spreadsheet made in Excel, and you have in the middle, you have other thing in the middle like that, across, and then you continue, you lose your thing, right? Excel is good because it's vertical, and you have rows and columns, right? It's well organized. So imagine that you are in the grocery store. Just imagine that. You know, I'm in the grocery store. What you see in grocery store? Aisles and rows. And everything is super well organized. You don't have the, you know, the diapers with the bread. You don't. You don't. You have diapers with tissues, with shampoo and stuff like that. Everything for babies, right? So why we don't apply this principle to our solution? Sometime, and I will demonstrate that later. Sometime you have exceptions. I'm pretty sure I'm sure everybody will test that. If you go to the ranch sauce aisle in your grocery store, you will find croutons, for sure. I know that I never miss that. You go to the ranch sauce and you will see croutons on the side. You go to the salad, you will see ranch sauce and croutons, right? Do a freaking Caesar salad, right? This is what they want you to do, right? So you can do that into your layout as well. You know, you have your thing and stuff like that. Say, hey, don't forget this. You know, you will need that. I'm putting next to you. I'm putting the little button here that make all the difference. You don't have to go all across the store, take your crouton that you forgot, and then your wife kill you when you arrive at home. So that's another thing that we can learn from. It's the newspaper and the magazines. And the website actually, right? We are watching those things all day long. And as you noticed, many of their design evolved too, right? They're not stuck in the past. They evolve with the design because everything is influencing everything. You know, the web is influencing the magazine, the paper magazine influenced the web and the app, et cetera, and so on. So here we have a great example with this newspaper, right? We have a lot of verticality, right? We have columns, right? That's the way they're organized, right? 5 columns, right? That's the paper, that's the tabloid, right? And we have rows, so vertical, horizontal is very well organized. And we also have expressions because this yellow and green and blue doesn't have any function, just to emphasize the difference, right? To make the point, right? And they are vertical, right? Let's say horizontal, I'm saying. Here the same thing, this is a magazine, so we have a lot of verticality as well, right? Very vertical, right? We have a picture, we have the title, so sometimes you can think about columns like that, and you can go across for the title, and then you use your columns like that. You have some freedom. It's not like, I'm not asking you to replicate an Excel file. We have it, it's the table view, right? No, you can learn how to play with the vertical thing, with the columns and stuff like that, right? And then you apply your own style. Here we have a website, and you have the same thing. Here we have, there's a lot of things in this. There's a lot of things that doesn't look busy. There's a lot of things that doesn't look busy because it's well organized. And also we have a lot of separations, and it's very clear how it is built. And we have a lot of function. We have a lot of expression. So all together, this is what you get, right? So now I want to do a demo. I'm done with the slide actually. And let me bring FM starting point. This is a Richard Carlton solution, right? And this is the old one. This is all. When did you start this one? How old is it?
2010.
2010. Okay. So was when you joined in 2016 or 6 years old, right? So the time, even it wasn't at the time of solution. It was at the time of database, right? It was before 12, right? Way before 12.
No, it's a
10. 10. Okay. So we were talking about database in FileMaker world. So here, nothing wrong here, in my opinion, right? But here, things start to be a little bit confusing, let's say, okay? It was fine during the time. I'm not, you know, we all build stuff like that, you know. And when I was preparing this session, I opened some old file of mine and said, oh my gosh, I built stuff like that. Oh my freaking God! But why? What changed? Our computer changed. We have touch device now. We have interface on Apple TV. We have so many things changed. Many things evolved, right? And this was good at that time, right? So let's bring what's wrong here, okay? So first of all, we need to, you know, when you build something, you need to understand, think the grocery store. What are you looking for? Unless you know the grocery store or like that. Let's say you never went to this grocery store. What the thing you're looking for the first? The indication on top of the aisle. Okay, oh, where are the teas? Oh, tea here. Where are the biscuits? Oh, here, right? So you have your head up. The first thing you do when you enter a store, up, right? Because you want to see where to go. You don't know where to go, okay? And you don't want to walk everywhere. So we have what we call a navigation system. So you need to think about your own navigation system. You have multiple ways to do that. It can be menus, can be tabs like that. And FileMaker provided a very nice object on layout that is the button bar, right? It's perfect for that because it's built for that actually, right? So, but you need to be careful that you cannot mix-match multiple principles. You cannot mix-match multiple paradigms in navigation. Because if you do, you confuse your user completely. Demonstration. Here I'm in contact, so no problem. I understand what I'm looking at is contact. So here I click here, I understand I'm looking at accounts. If I click calendar, oh, what I'm looking at, I click calendar, right? And so I have a nice calendar actually, but here it's still saying that I'm showing, it's still saying calendar when I'm looking at. I think we have a hard time tonight. I'm sorry, man.
I think there's a Bell backstory in all fairness. So there's a lot of wrestling that went on with this design. You're going to see him kind of disassemble. We had conversations about what the next steps would be. And it was funny because you point this out and you're like, yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. Right? You're embarrassed to show your face because you realize he's right. But to sit there and to objectively review your own work and critique it can be painful. You have to check the ego at the door, which is hard for me, right? And you have to be able to admit mistakes and see. Remember, we started 2010 and it evolves, right?
Yeah.
And so you start to see this. So it's interesting where this goes, and it ends up in a good. The story has a happy ending, but the process of going back and forth and going, yeah, it's like that. I didn't, you know, that was an accent, or you know, we didn't think of that in 2010, but now it's 4 years,
exactly.
5 years later.
Exactly. And first of all, we are learning out of our mistakes, you know, because if you succeed all the time, okay, you're lucky. So that's it. So okay, so you see that now I'm stuck here. I say, okay, I don't know where am I, you know, what I'm looking at and stuff like that. Same thing for home. You know, I click home and I go away, right? And okay, now what I'm going? Where I'm going? Why I left? Supposed to stay here because this one has one way to do, this one another way, this one, they all have the same way like that, and suddenly you have two completely different things. One is opening a new window, and the other one is getting me away, right? So, sorry, I apologize. I'm deeply sorry. Okay, I'm very deeply sorry.
I bear all my mistakes out.
Yeah, but this one actually, you know, when I saw that the first time, I said, okay, this is the most common thing because we don't think about this stuff. You know, it doesn't pop to your mind. And I you know what? I did work on that. Trust me. You know how we can fix this to make things like an app. Let me bring the new version of this. So I bring the contacts. As you can see, I have the same paradigm of navigation. But there's some slight difference. It's the same way, exactly the same way, right? Very good. So we have accounts, contacts, estimate, invoices, project, product, right? And where's my calendar? Oh, it's a button where, you know, click here, calendar, right? I click here, task. So those buttons here, you know that is opening a window. So you test once, but you're not lost. You're not lost. You know, okay, you have a new window. Okay, you see the new window popping. You close the window. You're still where you were. You're not lost. And then you can see we have a home button, right? But the home button is on the same level of navigation. It is part of the navigation, but has a completely different look. It is not part of the other paradigm that with the Google style, you know, navigation, right? And when I click here, it's fine if I'm going away. It has another vision. It's not something like it is losing me, right? So this is how we did that. So after that, let's go back here and see what next. So the first things, you remember what I told you? Tell a story. So what's the story here? So I have home, accounts, calendar, and some story is losing me somewhere, I don't know. Then we have a succession of buttons on the bottom, duplicate contact, new from here, I'm talking about here. They're on the bottom. And then we have some print thinking, but we have some other print thinking here, right? So it's kind of confusing. What is doing what to what, right? We need to, you know, when you see something like that, you kind of, you scare your customers. Let's be honest. They are here and say, hello, can I click here, please? Because I'm afraid. Am I deleting all, or am I messing up something? Right? How many times that happened? Let's be honest. How many times that happened to you that your customer called you and said, I'm afraid to click this button. Okay. You need to be clear. Something dangerous, something destructive, first of all, you need a message to confirm. Sometimes a double message to confirm. That asked me, you know, many times. One guy asked me, my secretary is a dumb. So please, I want do you want to delete with the button, delete on the right, and another, are you sure with delete on the left, right? That he asked me, right? So you have to be careful with destructive things. And so when that happens, don't put a button on the layout, put a menu, you know, it's better. So here we have those things here. So this is not really telling a story, you know, we're not, right? So let's bring the new one. So here we have buttons on top, you know, because that was a problem. When you see this duplicate contact, what you could understand, duplicate the contact, duplicate what inside the poller, you know, because it looks like you are in com and notes section because it's underneath. That's what you understand when you see that. You don't understand that the button is actually duplicating the whole thing that is normally underneath, right? So that's why we brought it up on top, because all what you see on top is applying to the content, is for the whole thing that you want underneath. Imagine that a big bubble that is taking everything, right? Not what is up. What is up is nothing to do with this, because if I click here, I will still in data view, and I will still in contact, right? So it's not changing anything on top. It's changing everything on the bottom. It's duplicating. So the same for print, same for label, same for report. I'm talking a story. You know, you print, then you can do the label, then you can do the report. And on the other side, you say, okay, you can scan the bar. You have some actions. You know, you can see your to-dos. It's kind of utility on the side, right? This side. On this side, you have kind of utility tools, and on the left side, on the left side, you have what's the name? You have all the tools to apply to the data, right? So another thing, you remember what I told you about the ranch sauce and the croutons? Okay, but address one, address to city, zip, and country, and then you have some kind of stuff underneath. You know, you have the croutons. This is a ranch sauce, and I have the crouton. Crouton is okay, GPS coordinate. This crouton. And I can have additional, you know, like, you know, you take the coupon and you have a discount, right? It's the same thing, right? It's additional addresses. So that I put that with, you know, and because it's very optional, those additional, for you standpoint was optional. Sometimes it's not, but here it was optional. So we put that in the popover underneath addresses. So you need to tell a story. You bring the thing together. So address is obvious here. This is an address, right? And that's why we didn't put the label on top, address, right? It's not. As I said, address 1, address 2, and I don't need labels. It's obvious that is an address. So now here, what is another issue on design is the verticality is completely broken. Completely broken, especially on the communication side, right? On the communication side, you have font 1, font 2, cells. Okay, it's all right. Okay, it's all right, but it's not great. Because look what's happened underneath. You have a button, next follow-up here. But how many times that happened? Sometime, I remember, 15 years ago, I built a solution for somebody. In 2 years, I worked on this solution. And one day he called me and said, okay, you know what? This stuff, is a Rolls Royce. It's a Rolls Royce, right? And I was looking for his account layout. I was looking for logo. I couldn't find any in that time, 10, 15 years ago. I couldn't find any. So I had a nice Rolls Royce logo, and I put the Rolls Royce in the account, right? Because, okay, so this, and when you build something, it's fantastic. And then they ask, oh, I need this. Oh, yeah, we need that. This is not good. Remove and change for that. And then you install the mess. So there's no way you can prevent that unless you put some effort to reimagine the thing. Like that was sometime I encourage yourself to go to your previous solution and say, okay, what can I do to enhance that and kind of revamp, your UI. I will show you with this example. I will show you how simple it is. So here the verticality is broken on the communication. There's buttons we don't know what they are, and so it's kind of confusing. To me, it was confusing when I saw that the first time, right? So here, when you put verticality on the communication here, you don't need communication anymore. It's communication. Cell phone, phone 1, phone 2. It's okay. It's obvious. It's not grandma recipe for cookies. This is communication, right? So you don't need labels. Remove the labels. We have arguments with each other on this. But if you organize it, and you let me do that, right? So the font, when you put verticality like that, and when you organize things, it's obvious and it's clear. And sometimes people say, oh yeah, but you know what, your phone number is very long. Yeah, but I have phone number, you have extension, and you have phone number like that. Right? It can happen. So this is something we arranged. So verticality, see, vertical. Then here, what else was kind of confusing? How many levels of navigation do I have? 3 levels of navigation. 3 levels of navigation. This is a lot. Suzanne?
What?
This is not. I'm just kidding, because this is what we have too, right? So when you have multiple levels of navigation, don't make them look alike, because you confuse everybody. You don't know where you are. You don't know, especially when, for example, here I'm in a form view, but here I'm in list view, and it's kind of here I'm in a table view, and email menu. So you change appearance. So this tab-like is not appropriate for this style, this kind of thing. Tabs, you need to be very linear, right? So. And here you have another real tab in that case, because here, this is buttons, right, obviously. And this, you have real tabs, but they are there's a lot. You have a lot here. You have a lot of tabs with big names. So it's kind of, it's hard to read, right? So how we handle this? First thing, you need to identify the navigations. If you have 3 levels of navigation, you have tabs, must look like tabs, and a secondary navigation must look like a secondary navigation, and the main navigation should look like main navigation. You have to make a difference, a visual difference between the navigation. Here it's obvious. This is a main navigation, and here I have the second navigation here. It doesn't move. It doesn't have this appearance of, changing, right? And because those are a button bar, and you don't have to fake a tab here, because it's not a tab. This is not a tab. This is a navigation. And here you have tabs. So you can make tabs very good looking. It's not prohibited. You can. It's very easy to do that, right? Actually, if you want to learn how to do that, you can download FM Starting Point, and you can see how we did that. It's very easy to do this two style, right? And so it's very easy, and it looks great. It looks great, and especially if you bring that a little bit bigger, right? You have a nice screen, right? It's elegant, it's clear, and we have this nice new, right? Instead of having this giant portal, right? So now you can see you have here subject, text, so you have notes, right? Let's see how it was before here. So here you have this kind of the same way, right? But with a mix of two paradigms, and I want to show you why it's not great. So you have other notes here. So inside the portal, you could see this information inside the portal, type here, and then when you click outside, it's not showing up here. And then if you click here, you show up here. So why is here and here, right? So it's not, if you want to build something, to do something that you see somewhere else, do it the right way. It must match 100%. It's like the gallery. The multiple selection without the option and the shift, it's unusable. It's missing the point. Here, the same thing. If you bring something you saw somewhere, say, oh, that's great, I want to replicate it. You have to replicate exactly the same way, right? So now another thing I want to bring about design. So here we saw the verticality, we saw the visibility, we saw many things, navigation, be careful on the navigation and stuff like that. So here, I'm in invoice, and here, what's wrong here? What's wrong is I have a lot of information that is not really important. The shipping address, this is the main thing you want to see in invoice, right? It's not what you want to see in the invoice. What you want to see is your money, right? Yeah, exactly. So you have 2 items. So what happens if I have 500 items? Oh my gosh, I need a 200-inch screen. Okay, so now it's not painful. It's all right. I'm trying to make a fun demonstration, right? But it's obvious here that something wrong is the organization of the layout. And I understand the problems. You know what? This is not easy to solve. Actually, it's not. Trust me. But you have to trade off. You cannot have everything. There's people say, I want to see everything. Everything. I want to see everything. Okay. And one day I had a guy on the phone and said, okay, why do you have all this empty space? Fill it with stuff, stuff things. I said, okay, if you put that, my design is ruined. So I don't want to ruin my design, I'm sorry, right? So, no, I don't want to ruin my design. So here, how you can fix that? You have to trade off. I can bring everything on the layout. Everything will be on the layout, but in a different way. This is how we do that. It's better. I understand better. I have my line items here. I can put more than 3 or 2, right? I have a nice, add a line thingy here that we introduced in the starter solution, actually. So you have, what's the name? You have a better view of what is important in your invoice. What is important is who, when, where, right? Kind of the summary, the information, and the shipping stuff and stuff. This is, shipping is when the guy's paid, right? So bill to, ship to, okay, this is information, this is secondary information. Bill to is important, money. Bill to the first, ship to after, when you pay, right? And you have the total, obviously, here, right? You need the total here. and some information, the nodes and stuff like that. This is not the most important thing. So here's what the problem here is, what I understand what you try to do, and it's great, right? To put everything there, flat, right? Unfortunately, you can't, because it's too complicated, it's too cumbersome, right? It's busy, it's not easy, and you miss the point with the line items, right? So this is important to know, that how you organize things. And I want to, before the breaks, maybe we do a break in 3 minutes. So you see this design here. This was a long time, right? It was a long thing, a long process to build something like that, and to imagine something like that. So feel free to inspire yourself. Just inspire yourself. You know, we did the job for you. It's free, right? And you can expand the way you want, right? So this is great. And I want to show you something that I built recently. It's a solution for the city of Montreal in Canada. They ask for, they want to manage the city with FileMaker. Thank you. So what I did, okay, I don't have time, I have 3 weeks to do that, so okay. And what I did is, I took starter solutions, the one you have for free, I bring them, I put them in one file. Requires some technique, I admit that. But that's not my fault, that is FileMaker. But you know, one day maybe we will have a button, merge. Wouldn't it be cool? You know, merge. And I built this. So no, where's the? No, this is FileMaker. Okay. Oops. So as you can see here, I want to encapsulate. I want to bring the application level. So application level, you want to identify. Okay, sorry, it's in French. You don't have to read. You don't have to read. Don't read. Just look the design. Okay. So I want to encapsulate the connection. This is that's how you invite the people to connect, right? So as you can see here, the black thing is void. There's nothing, right? Because I'm not connected yet. Because if I close this, this is it. This is what I have, right? So I can identify myself. So now that I'm identified, so I say, okay, Nicholas Hunter here, and so this is a dashboard, right? And then we create some contacts here. Okay, it's kind of empty because that's my demo file, but you can understand where I went there. This is a starter solution contact, actually, right? And we have organization here, right? So you see how it looks. That I was saying before, the red. You can use red. It's not prohibited. You can use red because that's actually the color of the city, red and black. And oh, that's another advice for you. You want to please your customer, put the color they like. You know, when I came with this, they say, oh, but we love it. I know, it's your website. I bring, you know, the city, you know, the filigrane of the city. I bring it from the website. You know, that's it. That's how you please the customer. Very easy. So so here, you know, verticality. You see how clean it is, right? And the interaction, how you interact with this. You know, let's say I have, this is contact in the organization, and I want to add contact in the organization. I bring my contact selector. It's the same. It's exactly the same as the connection, but with different people. And I say, okay, I want to add this one, and I want to add this one, and I want to add this one, and done. And I have it. They're here. If you want this, is project starter solution is there. You don't have to rebuild it, right? So here how you bring the application level, right? And after that, you can go and do more complex objects, and they look fine. They look perfectly fine if you organize and you build them right. Let me show you. So here, how it works. Let's bring another one. See here? So I have my objective on top. Then I have the task attached to this objective. So when I create one, I create an objective, that new objective. Okay, validate. So I have a new one, and I just add task inside, right? So when I'm here, see, it's very easy, very easy. And so let's go here, deliverable here. Let's say I have the same way here with more complexity. So the same way, so you add new, what it is, you don't have to read, just look the design. And you can see here, I'm saying that, oh, there's no task attached. No tasks, that is no task. So you know that you have to bring a task here. And you can add people in your task, right? And go back, and you have the task, right? And the people, etc. So, and you navigate with different deliverables. So you see, you can bring, it's very easy to use. It's simple because add, add, I understand what add is, and, this, I understand, you go back. So you see design principle that you see everywhere, right? You don't have to teach the people what they do. And they are portals, but very built in a way that you understand what's going on and put some kind of happiness in your layout, like this upper, the percentage of this. You see, you have percentage, and you can say, okay, that's the progression of my task. When you go back here, you see it's 50%, and you can add a label on top of your task, and when you go back here, you see the label. So after that, you learn that green is okay, but if you see something like that, hey, this is orange, man. You better look at this, right? So you add some information, expression, remember? Expression, right? So into the function, right? And you have the progression bar here, etc. So you have to build a thing in a way that when you see that at a glance, you understand what's going on, right? Instead of portals and stuff like that, and tabs and plenty of stuff, right?
Okay, first question I've got when you're ready.
I'm ready.
So it says, although the speakers write about vertical design, especially the not to show buttons on the tab, I've never had problems understanding the previous screen. I have more of a problem understanding how the file works globally. Like, should I create the accounts data entry screen before I create the contacts, or should I create the estimate screen and then do contacts or invoice? They're asking about the sequence of building an app and what you would recommend in terms of building an app.
Okay, let's take the example of the CRM. Okay, like starting point. Okay, is there invoices without customers? No. So customers first, right? And if you need estimates, you don't have invoices without estimates, and you don't have estimates if you don't have customers. So customer, estimate, invoices, right? So now if you have a lot of customers, that means you deal with companies, you need people within the company that you generate estimates and you create estimates and generate invoice, right? So this is a workflow. The workflow, in my opinion, the workflow should always match the natural workflow, the workflow that the human workflow, right? You meet the customer, right? Within the company, you build, you present the estimate, you sign the estimate, you send the invoice, and you have accounting at the end. Is that good answer, or?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's just people having questions online. If you have folks have questions here, definitely ask them.
Questions here? Yes?
I noticed it looks like you're using Arial font.
Yeah, I'm using the defaults. Yeah, that's an issue. Frankly, when I was building the startup solution here at FileMaker, I had exactly the same problem. The problem is today we have a huge problem because we have WebDirect, because we have iPhone, iPads, and we have Mac, PC, and they all have a different font management, all of them. So the problem is you will always be off a little bit and stuff like that. So it's a trade-off. Arial is the most, let's say, is the most universal font. That's why I'm using it, and because it fits Mac, PCs, and it can be off a little bit, and that you can compensate sometimes. When you have a big, that's a trick. When you have a big problem like that, sometimes it happens when the font is big. Actually, when it's small, it's less problem. But when it's big, what you do, don't be afraid to have two objects. Get device 2, get device 1, and you show and hide. You show on PC this one, and you hide this one on Mac. Right? It's don't be afraid to use that, because that's another thing to know. I don't know, the level of you have here in the audience. Every time you use a function, you are and I'm talking with Keith for watching, looking at me. So I'm stepping on eggs here. And each time you use get something, in the function straight out of FileMaker, this is fast. You won't have problem of performance, right? Get device number 2 it's not. You can put that. You can have many of them, or get window mode. Find mode. You can do that. There's no problem, right? If you start building stuff with related data, etc., here you have issue. But if you stay, so don't be afraid. Sometimes you say, okay, I have this Polar in Mac. It looks great in Mac. Doesn't look great on PC. It will look great if I do this and this and this. Duplicate. You have one for Mac, one for PC. I'm sorry, it's difficult because you have to maintain 2, but it's a trade-off. Or you start to find a way to, The font, there's no way we can handle this because FileMaker doesn't have its font management. FileMaker depends on the OS. The OS, Windows has its way. iOS and Mac is not the same as well, right? You saw the difference, right? So
a shout out to South Korea. It feels like the Olympics here. South Korea is here at this user group meeting. It's pretty exciting. Real quick, there's a question about the sync engine that's in your FM gallery and FM camera. Are you using mirror sync or what are you doing?
No. I'm using 100% FileMaker. So this is kind of this is a gift for our audience because this is you need to go and purchase. But I will tell you how I did that. I'm using FMP protocol. Okay, so I'm asking the server to suck in the information. There's no sync. The advantage of this technique is it's simple to get in place. FileMaker talking to FileMaker with the FMP protocol. The FMP protocol is a URL. You send the URL somewhere, right? And you say, insert from URL, and you use the FMP protocol, and you can trigger a script remotely. You can say, okay, this file on this server, trigger the script, right? So it's very powerful, extremely powerful. I'm using that a lot, especially in this case when you have two, because doing this you don't need to create external source. You don't need to add an external source to trigger a script that is in another file. Dependency between two files, and you can still talk. Of course, with the script parameter and stuff like that, and the new base 64 and stuff like, you can add much more on top of this, right? That means with the script parameter, you can push information to another file. So FMP protocol, if you don't know, go online. FileMaker did a great job on explaining it, and it's great. No mirror sync, no sync. As I said, if you want to solve a problem, think simple. First try the simple way, and then after that you go to the complex thinking.
Okay, someone's asking a real quick question about the difference between pixels and points.
Pixel.
They used to be the same thing.
Yeah, at the time where the screen were 72 dpi, that's the CRT, right? So now the points. It's a measure, and since we create that at the time when we start to have resolution independence, right? We are independent from the resolution, so you can have a super retina display or a very crappy screen. You still have the same measure because one pixel on an iPhone like that is maybe hundreds of a point, right? So, yeah. Question here?
We do have a question about localization. So say you were showing this French version, but if someone was making an English version and a French version, say Chinese and Japanese, so how would you handle that? Because clearly from this text, this person's an OS. See, that's the thing we're starting to see because we have this OS X app development environment. We have people who are coming to us they know Xcode, they don't know FileMaker. And so this person says, as a technical aside, for instance, in native iOS development, there's a class of strings that you can use for handling localization. right?
Okay, so the best way, you know, and when I was here for working on FileMaker, I built a file that is on the FM on the FileMaker server. So if you have a FileMaker server 13, you can extract the FSM sample and you can open it, because in 14, 15, for security reasons, we had to remove the admin account. So, but on 12 and 13, you have a file that is multiple language, and you can open it and see how we build that. We build that with related data. That's a table. We put all the strings and stuff like that. I strongly recommend not using the building blocks, like you build delete, file, record, and you build, no, because you will have problem with languages, because it's not the same in French, it's not the same in German, it's not, you know, so you have to build sentence. Type all the sentence, everything you put in a message, everything you put in a dialogue, everything you put as a label, and everything, tabs, names, and stuff must be related data. Today it's kind of easy, because tab names, we have calculation on tab name we didn't have before. And buttons, you can put merge field on buttons, and then after that you will have the same problem of the UI, right? It's difficult to have a UI because that is multi-language, because a button new in English, the 3 letters, become nouveau in French, that is 6 letter, 7 letter, right? So from 3 you become 7. So if you have a new button small, that's why icons. It's great.
And if someone was asking the question about they're a new developer, they want to learn about hanging out with other FileMaker people without paying $250 an hour to a consultant to learn. And of course, I would suggest DevCon, but we were just at the FileMaker Developers Conference, right? So that's a good place to hang out for a couple days.
Yes,
Matt, you know, Suzanne, where would you?
User groups. I mean, they've been used to user group here. We started one.
Yeah, user groups are a good place.
Community colleges.
Community colleges.
Online, you have plenty of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of DevCon in countries like, okay, there's one in Canada, there's one in France, and one in Germany, then one, you know, you have a lot of, in Japan, you have a huge one. Actually, the one in Japan is even bigger than the one in America. So you have huge DevCons everywhere in the world, and you know, but of course, most of the time you have to travel, because if you are in a remote place in the middle of South Korea, it's difficult to find to go. You know. I want to demonstrate something before we start again with question. We know now with FileMaker we have the iOS SDK. That means you can build your own application that goes to the App Store. That's great. So application, we are there. And as we can see here, I have a phone here. Oops. Let me bring this. And I have the app here, the FM camera, right? The app here. So I tap the app. And this is the app starting. So it's brand new. So you see, you have the app about take pictures. I'm in Santa Clara. Take a picture here. See, it's an app. There's no FileMaker Go with it. So, cancel. So I still have my thing here, 2 photos and stuff. So this is downloadable on the App Store, right? Made with FileMaker. So.
You should make a gallery of that.
Yeah, I'm doing free. The gallery is not free. The FM gallery, okay, let's be honest. You know, the thing I demonstrated the first time, this is 16 years of my work. Right. So it's, I'm not saying that this is something easy to do. But it's simple in the building blocks are simple. What's complicated is to bring all together, right? And actually this, to be honest, to be fair, this is possible because of FileMaker 14. Until FileMaker 14, this could not be possible that way, because we needed things that were there. And so, yeah. Another question here?
Oh, our great friend of the FileMaker community, Beverly, was commenting. Hi, Beverly. Everyone say hi, Beverly.
Hi, Beverly.
Hello. Hi. They're all saying hi. was commenting that your fancy schmancy format changes in gallery.
Yeah.
It's a Mac command line specific. I mentioned
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's a Mac only. Okay. I did my research when I built this application, and it's ended up that 90% of people. This is for photographers. It's for people on the field, realtors and stuff like that. And most of them are on Mac. Each time you deal with pictures and stuff like that, you're on Mac. I'm working hard to get that for PC as well, but I'm not familiar with PC as I'm familiar with Mac. So I need to learn first, and then I can make it for PC as well. But I will do it. But for the moment, it's Mac only.
Since you've done a lot of this work on the SDK, what is the preferred resolution for iPhone and iPad?
You have a great website for that. Let me show you which one it is. Actually, for this one, I have to answer before I show you that. For this one, I have small iPhone, medium iPhone, and large iPhone that I'm covering. 5S, that's small. 6S, and 6SE, I don't know what they call. That's the medium. And large, 6 Plus and 6S Plus. So I have 3 sets of layers, right?
Well, plus the pad.
Plus one for iPad. I didn't build for iPad Pro because actually it will be an extended version of the iPad one. But the gallery will fit the iPad Pro. The gallery will fit, right? So you have a website here. You type FileMaker Go, device, layout, size. Okay. So here you have, so this for 14, this for 13, so you have here for 14 and higher, right? And you have all the, when you have the top toolbar off, bottom bar off, on, you have all the landscape and, you know, this is FileMaker.com. Rosemary, this is Rosemary Walk.
It is very
Oh, exactly. See? Yes.
When you did your apps, you didn't do them in 5 different layouts for the iPhone.
Yes. Yeah. I did a set of layout for. I can show you inside.
Yeah, small, medium, and large, basically. So
Yeah.
the 5 is the small, 6 is the medium, and 6 Plus is the large. I know because I badgered him about it because he gave it to me initially.
Oh, I don't have
6
camera.
Plus only.
Yeah.
I said, no, it's got to be more than 6 Plus.
Yeah, no. Okay, you can cheat if you want to cheat. You can. You know, I could have done, let's say, iPhone 5 and iPhone 6 small, right, the medium, and do a stretch version for the iPhone Plus. Yes, but no, because I had a problem here. My problem here was the size of the thumbnail. I wanted the thumbnails to fit perfectly the width of the screen, edge to edge, right? So if I had an extended version of this, I will have a blank because it doesn't, you know, it's 80 pixels square for iPhone 6 and 83. I need to, you know, 83 pixel point square for iPhone 6 Plus, and it's 78 for iPhone 5 to get the perfect. So I needed to do that. So I said, okay, since I need to do that, I'm doing. Actually, it's not that difficult. Actually, you know, to be honest, now that we have this, since we have this explicit area on the right on the layout, this helps a lot. You have, it's very easy now to, you know, resize, and, you know, we have the guides, and, you know, let's be honest, it's not that complicated. The best way is to build the bigger. I build the bigger and I make it small. I build the big one first and then the small. I want to show you something. I had a question during the break from Paul. No, it wasn't Paul. It was you about the layout that you put. You know, I said, no. I mean, come. Okay. When you have this kind of a problem of you have a fantastic layout, you work you butt off to make that great and stuff like that, and then suddenly they ask you, is missing those layers, those fields. We need the button here. We need this, that, and it's all messed up. You don't know what to do. So that's why I came up with this design. This design is kind of the result of a lot of years of usage in FileMaker, right? It's here. At the beginning, I had I organized the thing in a way, and then they asked me. They say, okay, we need the hours here. We need this, right? And then we need the project. And then we need the name of, we need the type, and then we need, so what I did, I said, okay, I want to, I need to build a place, room, I need room to put that, right? So what I did here is, it's simple, oops. Address now is this. So all those fields away from the layouts. So now we can fill up with something else. Because actually you don't, when you fill up the address, you're not changing the address all the time. This, you know, this event, this is event. This event won't change. They won't move the event to another place, right? So you don't need to change the address all the time. What you need to know the address. Actually, that's a condensed version of the address. You know the zip code, the city, and the country. You don't need exactly the place, right? If you need the place, you open it and you have it. Same for the phone. You need the phone number. You don't. Do you really need to? Do you really think that you will look at this and type the email of the guy? No, no, no. You want to go here and send an email, right? So what you need to see on the layout is the phone number, or if you prefer to have the email, just put the email. Don't put the phone number. Do whatever you want, right? So I removed 3 fields plus here. I removed 8 fields, right? And so now I put everything else. Right? So this is one way. Actually, let's say you see this design here. Let's bring this contact here. Maybe not this one, this one. Let's bring, okay, the way it is organized. Let's say I want to add here, I want to add a field here, and I want to add another field here, and I want to add another field here. Okay? So now I have this. I select all. Look. Select all, boom, reorganize. I add my fields, so you stack them. So now you say, okay, oh, it's kind of a little bit, let's say it's a little bit too clumsy, right? So it's okay, here we can see something here. We can see all this are phones, are communication, contact info. All this, so we select this. Those are all contact info, right? So I'm doing this, and I'm removing the bottom, what's the name? The bottom border, right? And I'm doing this. So I'm building a block, right? I'm building a block. So now, oops. So now I can reorganize this. See, this. Here. I reorganize. I put together all the phone number and stuff like that, and then I get room, right? Same here. This is all about internet and Twitter and Facebook and stuff. You do exactly the same thing. You do this, and boom. So you have your blocks now. So you build up, and you can do this because you see you do this, and that's great because actually you will say, yeah, okay, hey, Nick. You just duplicate. Now we need to remap. Yeah, okay. You know, even if it's grouped, I can go here, even group, and type whatever I want, right? And you can double click here and change this to country, right? It's not because it's groups. That's why this design is great, because you can have different sections. With a click, you remove the border on the bottom, and you can build a block, right? And then you can remap very easily because you don't have to ungroup and stuff like that. So this is fast. When you have one layout, you do another one, boom, 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 like that. You don't have to rebuild everything. And actually, it's adaptable. Actually, I added four fields here. No hassle. I didn't have to redesign everything, right? So this is why I came up with this design here, because it's very flexible. And actually, when you have a lot, if, for example, let's say they ask me and I say, okay, you know what, Nick, we need 5 new fields here, very important. Okay, you select these fields, you know, all those, you put in a portal and then put in a popover, and that's it. That's how you build. You build up. You have everything there. That's how you do, right? Don't try to move around portals and stuff like that. That would be awful. That would be awful. So no more question on the line. Imagine a layout like that with fields all around. Oh my gosh. You need to reorganize something? How you do that? Let's say, okay, let's bring a true example. Let's say here, I want to reorganize something here. I need to add 4 new fields. How I'm doing that? In Helvetica 10, okay, you put...
But every year we added a new feature, and every year a new feature. It's scope creep.
I don't care, because here, right, with this, I can add, oh, let's say, oh yeah, you know what, because they did to me, right, we need to, no, because they did all to me. As you can see here, right, I have a lot of what's the name? I have a lot of slides here, right? Tabs. I like the slide because you can, you know, because sometimes, you know, what we can do is say, okay, you see this one, this tab here, this one. I said, okay, for example, imagine that here you have a calculation saying, okay, if the privilege set name is not admin, don't show. Boom, it's not there anymore, right? So you cannot go. It's there, but you cannot go. That's why I love this tab control thinking, button bar thinking. So here they ask me to build a lot of things, right? To have a lot of tabs here. So I couldn't use this here with the text on the right, right? Because it's too long. It was all cut like that, right? So I said, no problem. My stuff is very, 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 what's the name? The design is very flexible, right? So let's say instead I'm here, instead of space, I'm putting this, and voila, that's it, right? I thought about that before. That's why it's high. It's high because if somebody wants, can do this. That's why it's high. And you put the number on top, and that's your, and then you can add, if you want to go here, and you had 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Voila, still working. When the other one is cut here, see, it's cut. See, flexible. Think flexible. Think like in one, when you add one thing, you know, you change one character and boom, it's fixed. Problem solved. Next, right? And the design is like that. And as you said, you know, the organization of the portal, the columns and stuff like that. That is the key. That is the key. And you give information to your user. You need to give information. Like for example, this one was extremely complex because they had so many things. They want so many things in one layout. So instead of building the tabs control vertically, I built it horizontally. Then you can put more text. Can you imagine a tab control with such text? How you can do that? Okay, vertical. So it's there, right? It's vertical. You know where you are, right? And even if you leave and you come back, you still go there. You know?
Is that done with that bar?
Yeah, this is button bar. Yeah, this is button bar, and this is button bar. This is button bar. I'm button bar guy. So let's be honest. No, it's good. It's great. Like for example, look at this. Where? This is cool. My project or project. This button bar, this toggle, look like a toggle. It's great, right? And button bar 2 here. Look. Where is it? It's here. This is a button bar as well. You know, applicable, non-applicable. This is, you see, applicable, yes, no. You know, with the radio button, forget about this. This is 1980, right? Radio button, 1980. Sometimes you can use it. I'm not saying you can't, but you need to use it for a real purpose, for what it was meant for, right? For example, here, I have radio buttons, but they are meant for that. They are meant for what's the name? They are meant for this, right? They are meant to give information. Sometimes here is better. This is an action. This is something in the software, in the application. It's not data. right? Separate data. This will trigger something in the application. When you check this, that means something. So, and we don't want checkboxes. You know, when you have one checkbox, this is a nonsense. When you have one checkbox one, this is a nonsense. You need something like that. That one, Apple now has this new, green toggle, right? The slide on iPhone, even on a Mac now, the slide. So this is bottom bar is very great. You see here expressions. You give expression, blue, green, red, orange. You know what I mean. You don't understand what's written here, but red. What the guy said here. He declined. That's it. It's very simple. Expression, and actually I didn't reinvent the wheel. This is iCal. Right. So you can build stuff like that with FileMaker. Just observe the other application and then bring back up to FileMaker what you can see.
Good job.
I think I'm done. Thank you.
I have a couple people asking about if they can get that portal sample.
Because this is great. Actually, that's a way, before you leave, if you're interested in this, it's very nice because you will see how FileMaker can be simple to create a related record, right? You want to create a related record without the trick of go to poll last row and no, without this. So come on. No. So I will see if you want everybody. We have the name of everybody.
Yeah,
So
we have the name.
you will learn that too.
Well, what's funny about this? You can almost tell what this app does. I don't even speak a little French, right? That's because the UI is so good. Although what's that? Researcher? Is that search in French?
Yes.
That's search?
Yeah, search.
Okay, I got that one right with the icon. I'm brilliant.
Yeah, actually, when you
So it's a
That's
primer. It's a primer. That's trash. Delete.
delete. Yeah.
Gray. Clear.
The UI that will make the comprehension of the file for people. Try to imagine that people doesn't know anything about what you do. They don't know that. They come and say, "It's not working. It's not working." So you need to think about. It's not easy. It's not easy. I'm not saying that it is easy to be something like that, but think about. Be simple. Be straightforward, and think what you can do to make the thing like as simple as possible. Right? Oh, by the way, there's a nice website owned by one of my friends that names flaticons.com. You can use for free all the icons they have, but you can just purchase it, $9.99 a year or something like that. You have thousands and thousands of icons like that, because sometimes.
But the ones that you have here are just.
Oh yeah, most of the time I'm using their internal. We don't have an arrow like that, so I download it. But most of the time I'm using the icons that are inside FileMaker. This is
using the scalable.
Yeah. Remember that I was there when we created that this year, and I had to get what I wanted.
And they're asking, is the vertical button bar calling a go-to object script to move
Yes.
a longer slider? I don't know. The writers are a little goofy.
Yeah, actually, I can show you. There's no secret here.
This will be our final trick for the evening.
So I have a universal script. I mean, a script that works everywhere. I can copy and paste and put in another file, right? And here I'm telling here in the parameter where I want to go. It's that simple, right? So here the script looks something like that. So it's in French, sorry, but it's not dependent to. It's not context dependent too much, a little bit, because I have some. It's great, when you start building the script, it's great, and then you have to debug and stuff. So, but pretty much it's universal, and then you can go. I'm using the same script for this vertical, and I'm using the same script as well for those things. They're the same. And I'm saying where to go, right? The name of the objects. I start to, naming the object. I'm very, what's the name? I'm very human. My style is very human. I'm not doing coding and stuff like that. Because when you debug, you don't know what's going on. You really don't. I have a friend. He said, "No, I'm not using. Go to layout, and sometimes you want to say, like for example, in the gallery, in this app, right? To go to the different layouts, I call them iPhone bracket large, iPhone bracket small, medium. So at the beginning, I'm testing, and I'm saying, okay, the size of my screen is this, so that means that I am in a large font. And I'm saying, go to layout by name, and I'm saying I want to go to this layout and bring me the variable that tell me which one it is. So you can build the names. So one of my friends said, yeah, I'm using numbers for that. I'm using layout numbers. Oh my gosh, I tried and said, okay, I'm lost. I was lost 2 minutes later. I said, okay, I'm not. Layouts 233. Which one it is, right? So yeah, it's it's so be human on the naming. Don't try to. It's okay. You type the name. This is it.